The 8th episode of Dexter, Resurrection is filled with near misses for both the main character and his dark passenger, including Angel, David Zayas, who is still trying to establish that Dexter, Michael C. Hall, is the actual Bay Harbor butcher. In one of the dark passenger's most spectacular takedowns to date, the zen and the art of playing tricks on Dexter Morgan were highlighted in last week's Dexter, Resurrection episode. As we go right into this week's episode, Dexter is still feeling good about turning around his life, which was on the verge of collapse, but this feeling is fleeting. Dexter is put off his game in Dexter, Resurrection episode 8, the kill room where it happens, as he rushes to eliminate Rapunzel/Al, Eric Stonestreet, the final of Prater's predators, as I like to refer to them. Additionally, Angel finds himself in hot water following a near miss with the dark passenger, Prater, Peter Dinklage, puts Dexter in danger, and Harrison, Jack Alcott, becomes more settled into a normal life after applying to community college and going on a date. You will be holding your breath and gritting your teeth the entire time in episode 8, and by the final moment, Dexter isn't the only one whose body begins to shake and whose heart stops beating. For a thorough synopsis and analysis of these near misses in Dexter, Resurrection episode 8, continue reading. The one that escaped. Al, commonly known as Rapunzel due to his obsession with ponytails, is the only one of Prater's predators still alive. However, in episode 8, Dexter and his dark passenger want to change that. Since the owners are out of town and the establishment is closed, Dexter checks out a kill space and ultimately finds a wig shop that will be ideal. It is undoubtedly one of the most eerie death rooms in Dexter's arsenal. The eyes, lips, and ponytails of wigged mannequins peek through the opaque plastic covering the walls, such a spooky scene. However, it's ideal for Al, and the dark passenger is eager to have Rapunzel at his table. But there's a problem. Al is terrified following the events of the Gemini killer, Lowell's abduction, and Mia's suicide. Prater is packed ready to go home and be a family man because he no longer finds the same excitement at gatherings. Dexter quickly arranges to meet with him before he leaves town, but even though they agree on a time and location, Al fails to show up, making him the one who escaped. Al prefers to keep his private and Prater lives apart, so when Dexter phones, he declines to provide any information about his location and simply says, "See you next year," before tossing his phone out the window. Therefore, someone will be on his table tonight even though Rapunzel won't be. A new target is discovered by the dark passenger. Dexter investigates after learning about Harrison's encounter with Vinny, Steve Sharipa, of Blue Bloods, Elsa's, Emilia Suarez, landlord, and discovers that he might indeed meet the code. How could he not? He has a history of being a slumlord who abandons tenants on the streets and doesn't address their pleas, which has led to some fatalities. The dark passenger's rage switch is flipped and turned on after meeting Vinny in person, despite Harry's, James Remar, warning Dexter that he's stretching to make Vinny match the code. Later that evening, while Vinny is heading home from work, Dexter catches him. This table party is different from the one when Dexter and his dark passenger are nearly salivating over wanting to kill him. This table party is really an attempt to intimidate a jerk into altering his destructive behavior. Dexter cuts off Vinny's air supply as he awakens, demonstrating what it's like to be unable to breathe and threatening to punish him if he doesn't comply with his orders. Just as the door to the wig shop opens, Dexter lifts his knife, and Vinny, desperate, accepts and begs for his life. After a near miss with the dark passenger, Angel finds himself in hot water. Angel has been keeping a close eye on the suspected butcher's whereabouts since he left his AirPods in Dexter's car door. This has allowed him to develop his pattern and see any irregularities. He goes to find out where and why Dexter is in an area of town he never goes to. He opens the lock after finding a light on in the wig business, which should be closed, and is positive that Dexter is inside with a victim. He opens the door, and a terrified Vinny, barely dressed, screams, "He's going to kill me," as he rushes out from behind a piece of plastic. Angel is confused by what he sees as he dashes through the plastic to the back. He is rendered speechless by this exquisite kill room, even though there is no blood or victim, nor is there the Bay Harbor butcher. Now he understands why the butcher never left any proof behind and was able to get away with these killings. He summons detectives Wallace, played by Katia Saraf, and Oliva, played by Dominic Famusa, who show up not understanding why they are there. Dexter was not observed, there is no victim, and there is no proof of a crime. All Angel is aware of is that he followed Dexter's car out of the wig shop just as Vinny fled. But when Angel tries to show the police that he has been following Dexter's whereabouts, he has nothing to offer because Dexter destroyed the AirPods after finding them after racing off. They begin to believe that something is wrong with Angel's story the more he talks and attempts to convince them it was Dexter. Was everything done by Angel himself? They ponder. Wallace goes one step further and contacts Quinn, XX, in Miami, who tells her that Angel is no longer part of the police force and that he doesn't know why he's in New York. He informs her that the Bay Harbor butcher case is over. Angel now has a weird, if not insane, appearance. Dexter and his passenger had an extremely close call, too close. It cannot occur once more. The penultimate episode is undoubtedly approaching, and with all of the surprises, turns, and near misses that have already occurred, who can predict what will happen next? What am I thinking? Thank you very much for asking. I believe Harrison and Dexter will work together to defeat Prater and Charlie. I might be mistaken, but what if I'm correct? Consider how thrilling it will be to witness, and what are their next steps if they succeed. As long as they avoid detection, the entire world is basically their oyster because it is filled of murderers and scumbags. But what will Red/Dexter do to Prater in episode 8? What is he going to say? Will he be enough convincing? Is Harrison going to be convincing enough? Is Harrison going to be convincing enough? When it came to Prater, I believe Dexter put all his eggs in one basket and classified him as a cautionary tale rather than a threat. Prater's intrusion into Dexter's private life in this particular moment makes it very evident that he is a threat, the greatest one. He is a multi-billionaire voyeur who collects the spoils of serial killers. We don't have such evidence, even though he has denied the ability to murder. There's no reason to doubt that Prater is the most deadly of all the killers, and if he isn't, I believe Charlie is. Children, keep an eye out. The conclusion is just one more episode away.